Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a budget item that I believe has practical value. So let's go ahead and dive into it. The product I'm talking about is going to be the Idogear 2-inch MOLLE belt. And for the price point of $40, this is why I think you cannot beat this belt. So just a quick overview of this belt. You're going to have 2 inches of belt on the outer belt, along with laser cut MOLLE. There's going to be 24 slots of MOLLE capability that you can add whatever you may want to it. Along with that, you're going to have a Cobra style buckle here. Now, the reason why I say a Cobra style, not an actual Cobra buckle, is because I don't know the actual retention on this. So, not going to tell you guys it's 100% a Cobra buckle, but it is Cobra style and it has positive connections and positive disconnects. So that's another great feature. It's going to be the first initial impressions of the belt. We'll go ahead and start off with the inner belt, guys, here. So the inner belt is going to be very kind of flimsy, but I've actually attached this belt onto me with a little bit of weight to it, and the inner belt and the outer belt have held up fine. There's no real weight shift between the belt, and there's no hot spots, or the belt's not sagging in any kind of way. So that's another positive note. For $40, guys, can't really beat it. Now, the Velcro, the way this is stitched, which I actually love, my Blue Alpha belt, which I paid $174, doesn't have this on the belt, and I really wish it did. So the Velcro here is on the inside, and on both outer sides of the Velcro, they've overlapped nylon here to actually protect the Velcro. I'll show you guys later on in the video what my Blue Alpha belt's been doing after repeated use with the inner belt. Now, the stitching is really good on these belts. It's not double stitched on the entire belt, but on the sections of MOLLE here, in between each row of MOLLE, it's double stitched to give you a little bit more structurally sound to the belt. There's no frays on the stitching. There's no loose stitching on this belt, so that's another positive feature. The Cobra style buckle is very positive. I mean, once it's in there, it's in there. They've actually also installed a green little window here, so if you see that window, you know that your belt's actually engaged and it's not going to come loose. I've had it multiple times happen to me with my Blue Alpha belt, and it's kind of user error. It's not really the belt's fault, but when you throw it on and you hit your Cobra buckle, it doesn't fully actuate, and you go start moving around, your belt pops off. So that's always a nice feature. You just kind of look down and see, okay, my belt's good to go. The reasons why this would be a great belt for somebody that's on a budget is the price point of $40. You're really not going to be able to find a belt that's good quality, that's not Chinesium. I mean, this belt is Chinesium, but it's one of the better quality Chinesium belts. So it's great if you're on a budget, or if you're just starting out and you really don't know if you want a battle belt setup or if you want a more of along the lines of like Alice or load bearing equipment, which is something I'm going to slowly transition into and start getting rid of all this MOLLE, is transitioning into load bearing equipment. The quality is excellent for the price point. For $40, guys, the belt is, if nobody told me the price point of this belt, I just picked it up, I'd say probably $75, $80. The stitching's good, the material's good, it feels strong, it doesn't feel weak. The actual, now if you guys are into military surplus, I'm sure you guys seen the belts laying around military surpluses. It's not like a combat belt, it's just like a normal belt to hold up your trousers. That's what this material is here, the actual material that's underneath of the webbing. So it's going to hold up a little bit. Now over time, I can see where it's going to start fraying a little bit here, but for $40, it's going to get you in the ball game to start your training, or if you're on a budget and you're not going to be able to have much money to actually get better equipment, this is one of the belts I would go for. I'll be attaching a pouch to this belt, so you guys are going to be able to see the fitment of the MOLLE and how well the laser etch MOLLE works, if it's true to standard MOLLE and everything else. So we'll go ahead and dive into that and let you guys see that. Switch camera angles here. So this is going to be the actual belt laid out in front of you. This is just a standard USGI magazine pouch. I'm not going to weave it all the way through the MOLLE, but I'll let you guys kind of see the fitment of it. So it's going to be tight. MOLLE's always tight when you first start. But you can see that it's pretty true to MOLLE. Get a little bit closer there for you guys. So we'll go ahead and compare the belt with my Blue Alpha belt. We're going to start off with the inner belts. So like I mentioned before, the inner belt on this Blue Alpha belt, if you can actually see the fraying that has started on my Blue Alpha belt here, which I'm actually going to have to start replacing it. And the reason that is because the Velcro here, it just starts eating away at the inner Velcro, and that's why I really love the nylon reinforcement that they did here on the Idogear belt. Now, the structure of the Blue Alpha belt is a little bit more rigid. It's going to be able to hold a little bit more weight up, but it's not that much more. It's not that much more than the Idogear belt. So take that for what you will. $170 belt versus a $40 belt. Now let's go ahead and dive into the actual belts themselves. All right, so this is going to be my Blue Alpha belt here. It's fully set up, mag pouches and everything else like that. But one thing I want to tell you guys is this belt is a little bit more rigid than the Idogear belt. Now, it's not tremendously $170 price point more rigid. The only belt that I've seen that's actually superior and rigid and everything like that is going to be a Safeline belt. But those belts were really hard, and they started digging in my side, so I let it go and got the Blue Alpha belt here. So the stitching on the inside of the belt has 5 rows of stitching that run alongside the Velcro here. The Idogear belt has 4. Now, with the rigidity, along with that being said, once you start adding pouches to this, guys, like S-tag pouches, for example, it's going to add rigidity to the belt. It's not going to bow or anything like that on you. We're going to go over the Idogear belt here. It's a little bit more flexible. You're still able to move it, which I'm able to do that with my Blue Alpha belt too. As you can see here, I can take it and crinkle it with my hand. This one's a little bit easier to do it, but once again, for $40, you can't really beat the Idogear belt. So my final initial thoughts of this belt is, for the price point of $40, you really can't beat this belt, guys. If you were just starting out or if you're on a budget, I would highly recommend this belt to you guys. And later on down the road, if you're able to upgrade, I would. But for the price point of these belts, you can't beat them. Now, I don't know if they're NIR compliant. So if you look under with nods, they might glow. But you can always upgrade, guys. You can always get stuff that's a little bit better down the road. So it can help you with your range fundamentals, reloading skills, or if you just need something to carry a little bit of equipment until you're able to get that. This is one of the belts that I would look into. I'll leave the link down below on Amazon for it. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe.